Well, some good news. We underperformed today in Portland with a high of only 88 degrees. We did not underperform in the South Willamette Valley, and the forecast was pretty much spot on there. There was also some thunderstorms this morning, so I will be talking about all of that as our heat wave winds down. A meteorologist Tanis Leach going with this update. First off, the National Weather Service watches and warnings. The extreme heat warning has been canceled west of the Cascades, on top of the heat advisories for the Cascades and the Coast Range, the heat advisory for the Puget Sound lowlands, excluding close to the water, still goes until 8 o'clock tonight, while the extreme heat warning and heat advisory still continue in the Columbia Basin till 9 on Wednesday. There's also a red flag warning up until 9 o'clock tonight for dangerous fire conditions from potential thunderstorms. So, I want to show this for what happened this morning. There was some cloud cover, and there was one cell at the end of this right around 8 o'clock in the morning that produced a significant for our area thunderstorm in Eugene, and there was a smaller thunderstorm set around Sweet Home this morning. So if you're in Eugene, I hope you like your light show. There's a slight chance of something like that happening again today. Best odds are further south, so Eugene would probably be the highest odds again today. Going into our Storm Prediction Center's convective outlook, we have the entirety of the Cascades in the general thunderstorm bracket, and also the central Oregon Cascades northwards is under the isolated dry thunderstorms for the fire weather outlook that they put out. And on Wednesday, that general thunderstorm extends to the western Washington lowlands, though not the Willamette Valley west of I-5, though I do anticipate most thunderstorms will stay in the hills. We could get one that gets west of the Cascades, as yesterday proved. The isolated dry thunderstorms do get more limited to the Washington Cascades, however, and the Olympic Mountains. So instead of showing what I've done the last couple days and taking a single image from each of the models, I'm going to instead show the actual loop till at least the end of the day on Wednesday. So this first one is the Wharf GFS model. And as you can see, going through the next 24 hours or so, you can see thunderstorms start to bubble up in the Cascades. This is at 5 p.m. today. And some do leak west during the overnight hours, with a line of thunderstorms happening over the eastern coast range tomorrow morning. I don't really buy that happening, especially not as long of a line as the wharf is suggesting. If one does happen, it'll probably be like what we had in Eugene in yesterday. It'll be pretty isolated and more like what would be over Kelso Longview versus this eastern coast range line. Thunderstorms do die off over according to the Wharf model and start to move up into Washington instead as we go into late Wednesday and into Thursday morning. For the HRRR model, it's not really showing a lot over the Cascades over the next 24 hours. It's showing a few cells, though, over the coast range. And I have the opposite opinion in that I think it'll be more prolific over the Cascades than the Coast Range. Any cell that does make it west of the Cascades, I think will be very isolated in nature. And then now that we're going into Wednesday morning, it's showing more thunderstorms showing up, especially in western Washington. And that continues pretty much for the entire day, slowly lifting north. The Canadian high resolution model, it's a little bit odd because it's showing this little precip batch in the central Willamette Valley. However, this is not a thunderstorm signature in my opinion. This looks too light, and to me it seems like that will be just towering clouds but no precipitation from that. At the worst, it would be a dry thunderstorm, which is incredibly rare west of the Cascades. Normally it happened more in the Cascades. As we go into Tuesday overnight, however, thunderstorms do start to pop up, especially in southern Oregon, with a few isolated cells in the northern Oregon and southern Washington Cascades. The Canadian model is not bullish at all on Wednesday's thunderstorm chances during the day, but it starts to ramp them up during the evening hours, and this is as far out as I can go on that model. With the NAM model, it's showing very similar to my thoughts. Most of the cells are staying on the Cascades, with some leaking into the Willamette Valley on Tuesday. This is Tuesday at 10 p.m., showing some now in the Washington Cascades as the monsoonal moisture lifts to our north. And then Wednesday is pretty much limited to Washington according to this model. So onto our 7-day forecast for the South Willamette Valley. I have included the isolated thunderstorm graphic for today because the chance of a thunderstorm is higher down there than up in the Portland metro area. But like I mentioned earlier, any cell that does form will be very isolated, and the vast majority of you won't even see a cell. I'm thinking the chance you'll see something down there is about 20%. If we see something, it'll probably be similar to what we saw in Eugene yesterday morning. High temperatures do remain above average throughout the 7-day period, but they are more reasonable compared to what they were the last couple of days, with now the cloudiest day looking to be Saturday rather than Friday, as we're exiting the potential thunderstorm setup rather than entering into the potential thunderstorm setup. Low temperatures will remain in the mid 50s after tonight. For the Portland area, chance of thunderstorms is lower there, so I've not included the isolated thunderstorm graphic as a result, though a 10% chance does remain. High temperatures do stay in the upper 80s to low 90s until Friday, with the same change as the South Valley. That Saturday looks to be a little bit more cloudy than Friday now. And then highs staying above normal through the 7-day forecast period. Low temperatures will be in the low 60s until Sunday night with a low of 59 degrees. And then for our update on Friday and a little bit into Saturday, because some models are now showing that the thunderstorm setup might wait until Saturday. This does favor a more northern thunderstorm setup, which would be more of a Puget Sound focused event, versus the models that are showing a Friday setup are showing a more southerly setup, which would benefit the Willamette Valley. So, no model is now showing a grand old ridge. They're either borderline, which is the gem. I will note that the gem is even further delayed than Saturday. The Euro ensembles and the Euro AI ensembles. All the rest of the major models are showing the correct thunderstorm setup. We are going into the high resolution range over the next couple of days. So I will take a look at that in tomorrow's video, though tomorrow will be my last guaranteed video for this event. So as a result, nothing has changed in terms of the details, those other than the potential delay until Saturday. Current chance 10% in the valley, 35% chance in the Cascades and the Coast Range. And again, just as a reminder, the moisture content is very difficult to look at more than 72 hours prior to the event, just because of the picky nature of summertime thunderstorms in the Pacific Northwest. So, that is going to be it for this video. Again, tomorrow is the last guaranteed video during this event. So I will catch you all tomorrow. So until then, stay cool out there and take care. It does try to get back up to 90 degrees on Friday. Saturday now looks like it's going to be the cloudiest. My gosh. You want I might just include that one in the blooper reel just because I feel like it.